Right, so we've had two speeches where two very close-knit families have said, rightly so, some really wonderful things about each other, but this crowd wants blood. This crowd wants Pete Goldring's blood. And while these two brothers are lovely, loyal brothers, they will not pass up this opportunity to chuck Pete under the bus. So please, give it up for Chaz and Jeff.
First and foremost, I'd just like to say, Sam, you look absolutely stunning. Pete, Sam, you look absolutely stunning. I'd also like to take this opportunity. Hello. I'd also like to take this opportunity to welcome Sam into the family. Sam, you're marrying Pete, but whether you like it or not, unfortunately you've got the rest of us too. So as the best men and brothers to the groom, it is now the duty of Charlie and I to give Pete the 5 or so most uncomfortable minutes of his life, which I'm sure Pete no doubt will be passing on to Sam later this evening. I'm only joking, Pete can't last 5 minutes. I really was honoured when Pete asked me to be best man. Of course, when I accepted this honour, I didn't know Pete would be expecting Charlie and I to wear a thick tweed waistcoat during one of the hottest summers in British history, in front of 100 of his closest friends and family. It's a shame most of them couldn't make it here today though, and they've had to make do you lot. Immediately, Charlie and I knew. Although I'd be lying if I didn't think for a good minute and a half that Pete was finally coming out, which would have been no surprise at all, given his poor track record with women. After 5 minutes of Pete playing it cool at breakfast, making awkward small talk about how many miles he had clocked up running that morning, Pete confirmed we're in fact to be his best men. I must add now that this was one of the proudest moments of my life, until Pete quite patronisingly listed off a number of topics that he would prefer us not to entertain. It was, however, after the breakfast that I really did think the endorphins from Pete's morning run were starting to play havoc in his head. And this was when Pete pulled me aside on the walk home along the seafront and said, "Joe, I know you think this is all one big laugh, but our family and Sam's family will be there, so I don't want any joking about, and definitely no chat about any of my past birds." Somewhat taken aback, because he's such a Casanova, I later relayed this to Charlie, and as much as we both admired Pete's highly valued opinion of his past success with women, we both very quickly agreed that this was utter bollocks. So have decided to ignore Pete's wish here and share some funny stories anyway.
Well, firstly, I'd just like to echo Joe's word to say, Sam, you look absolutely stunning today, and we're very lucky to welcome you into our family today. Pete, before I take the piss out of you for 5 minutes, I'd also like to take the moment to say we couldn't ask for a better big brother. You've always been there for us. We're very proud of you today. To coin one of Pete's phrases, I'm about to share a few character-building moments of his life so far. There's a lot of material, but unfortunately after Mike's speech, I haven't got much time. Growing up, Pete was known as the energetic one with the big ears. He wouldn't sit still, and he didn't stop asking stupid questions. As Sam would agree, not a lot's changed. For a lot of his childhood, Dad also knew Pete as Frank Spencer. Frank was always very clumsy and making a nuisance for himself. Dad wasn't quite as polite as that, but we'll keep this PG. There were many Frank moments, but I'll just share a couple. This one year, Mum and Dad decided to spend a lot of money on a downstairs toilet. when Frank thought it was a good idea to get his golf club out in the garden and aim towards the house. After being told 50 times by Dad to stop, Frank put a ball straight through with a new window. Dad was not happy. Another example was when Frank thought it was a good idea to stand behind Dad's car when he was reversing. Not only did Frank get his foot run over, but Dad, not thinking Pete could be that stupid, sat there for 2 minutes with him under his rear wheel. Luckily for Pete's running career, no loss and damage was done. Past the early years, Pete met his other best man, Ash. They both quickly discovered golf, booze, some very odd haircuts, some questionable fashion choices, and for some unknown reason they nicknamed each other Jim. At 15, the two Jims couldn't quite get into clubs just yet, but as Pete mentioned earlier, they found a pub on the seafront called the Foresters. For those of you who don't know the establishment, it was famous for its cheap booze and its naked women. This one Saturday night was also most famous to us. The two Jims were sitting at the bar in their Burberry shirts, pint in hand, loving life, probably wondering where their first shag would come from. When unbeknownst to them, the place was getting raided by police for underage drinking. The 300 other people in the venue evaded the police and managed to leg it. But no, the two Jims were still sitting at the bar, chatting when the police casually walked over and arrested them. As you can imagine, Dad's reaction when the police knocked on the door that night was not polite. Unfortunately, that wasn't the only run-in with the police for Pete, and I'll come on to that one later. As the years went on, Pete started to branch out into London after work. After one night out, the whole family received a call from Pete about 10 o'clock. Having been ignored by his nearest and dearest, he called his good mate, Alan. Pete went on to explain to Alan that he'd been chucked off the train at Upminster and cabs wouldn't take him home. Alan quite rightly asked at this point why his nearest and dearest couldn't help him out. Pete paused for a second and went on to explain to Alan that he'd shit himself. That's right, poor Pete had stalled himself on the C2C train. Poor Alan had to drive all the way home like Ace Ventura with his head out the window, while Pete sat next to him staying in his car seat. Fair play to Pete though, he even asked Alan if he wanted to crack on after he quickly get a shower and get changed. As you can imagine, Alan declined. One of the things we've always applauded Pete for is no matter what happened, he'd managed to get home after a night out. No matter what state he'd in, he always managed to get home. Until this one night. Pete stumbled back to Fenchurch Street with no doubt for Burger King in his mind. And unfortunately for him, he could not get through the door without the police stopping him. That night, Pete became the first person we know to spend a night in a jail cell for his own safety. Living with Pete. I lived with Pete from the age of 21 to 26 for 5 years. The interesting years, we call them. As Sam can now attest, Pete's a bit of a nightmare to live with. Pete's mind is constantly spinning, and you can't sit still without him asking you to clear up, pay a bill, or do the washing up. For me, I found this an easy way to do sod all for 5 years. Because I knew if I didn't do it before in 1 minute, he'd have to do it himself. Unfortunately, Pete's nagging was the only pitfall living with him. At times, it was like living on a knife edge. In our flat, I lived upstairs, but from time to time, I'd be woken to loud screaming coming from downstairs. It turned out, I'd go downstairs, open the door to Pete's room, and it turned out he'd be sitting there on the side table, screaming to be let off a train. I can only assume he needed the toilet. Talking of toilets. One night, I also woke up to discover Pete standing in his wardrobe. Upon close inspection, unfortunately Pete had mistaken his wardrobe for a toilet. As far as living with Pete goes, unfortunately this isn't where it stops, as Tom and his next housemate soon found out. One night, Tom was asleep with Sarah, his girlfriend of only 2 weeks, to be awakened by Pete crashing about at 2 a.m. Pete threw open the doors, threw open their bedroom door, full of life, turned the light on, and weirdly proceeded to get under their covers. Unfortunately for Tom and Sarah, as you do early in a relationship, they were both naked. After being told this, Pete, in his drunken state, still said, "Let me in, let me in." Luckily for Tom and Sarah, after a couple of minutes of shouting at him, Pete went to bed in a separate room. As often happened with Pete, the next day he walked in as though nothing had happened. He'd forgotten the whole story, even after Tom tried to explain it to him. Pete just got on his little bike and went for a ride down the sofa. So, I lasted 5 years, Tom lasted 2. So all I can say is well done so far, and all the best for the future.
I think we've given Pete a fair amount of stick today, which for the record, he deserves. But there's one thing that shines true about Pete, that's his ability to give 110% to every task. And for those of you who have worked with Pete professionally, followed his endless running achievements, grown up playing golf competitively, you will all learn this all too well. But like most things in life that become our strengths, they can sometimes prove to be our weaknesses too. And unfortunately, when it came to pursuing women, giving 110% sadly became Pete's Achilles heel. I'm no Casanova myself. However, having sympathised with Pete's wish to settle down upon reaching his late 20s, I couldn't help but pay a keen interest into where Pete was going wrong. How could this ginger prince not have found his match, I thought? It was clear that being the lightweight that Pete is, he was always well on his way before he could even think about approaching the opposite sex on a night out. After years of hopeless failure, I could see Pete really did feel like giving up, when seemingly a miracle occurred. And that miracle, ladies and gents, is called plenty of fish. See, the thing about Pete is, on paper, he's actually quite catch. A young, budding advertising talent, on the property ladder at the age of just 23, an ultra-marathon runner, 5 GCSEs and ITG and VQ at South East Essex College. The list goes on. As Pete set up his profile on Plenty of Fish and told the single world of Southend-on-Sea a bit about himself, I can only imagine the matches came flooding in. It wasn't long before Pete threw his rod 5 to 6 miles out from Leigh-on-Sea to Fort Bay and found Sam. The rest was history, as they say. Pete and Sam hit it off from the get-go. Quite literally, actually, I'm not to believe. One date became 10, and 10 became 20. Pete dropped all his loyal friends in an instant. Stopped going out, took up running. Bloody boring bastard he is becoming. All joking aside, I've never seen Pete happier. And I suppose this is now that time in the speech where I'm supposed to sing Pete's praises. But unfortunately I cannot sing and I won't lie. In all seriousness, Pete has never not once been there as a brother for Charlie and I, and we are privileged to have such an honest, caring and kind-hearted guy we can call our brother. It's obvious that Pete and Sam truly are the perfect match, and I'd now like to wish them both all the best in their marriage. Can I now, with great privilege, please ask those of you who still can to please stand and join us in making a toast to the happy couple and wishing both Pete and Sam a great honeymoon.